What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the Poke Office. My name is Colin. If you've been in the Pokemon space for a while, I think you've probably seen the switch regarding there used to be a lot of just straight up Pokemon investing content, and I'm not saying there's not, because there still is, but there's a lot of new content that's like in terms of vending or starting Pokemon business or doing flips and buying and selling constantly. And the two are vastly different because the investing side, like true investment, is just you put your money, you buy a booster box or you buy an elite trainer box, and you just let it sit there, you set it and forget it, and then you just let it compound growth over time and let that box do the work for you. You don't do anything. You just spend a little bit of money, however, like so often that you're buying Pokemon cards. On the flip side, vending or buying and selling, starting a Pokemon business, very active. You're spending money all the time and you're consistently trying to flip, oftentimes at a small profit margin, but just the act of doing it over and over and over again starts to compound your money as well. And to be honest with you, for my approach, like I started out just kind of buying Pokemon cards, opening up some, but really buying it to hold it. And then I got this idea that, hey, like I actually kind of want to start a business out of this. So I did. And now it's like, wow, I put a lot of work into my Pokemon business and I'm constantly flipping, and I have a bunch of card shows booked over the summertime to do the flips and vending and stuff like that. And I am buying stuff from distribution and flipping it as quick as I can to keep the cash flow coming while also making a little bit of profit. But oftentimes I find myself thinking, I've put a lot of work into this thing. And sometimes it doesn't feel like I've gained that much. Like, this is a negative side of me for sure, but I am a little bit of a workaholic. There's no question about it. It comes from my mom's side. And I just like start giving her. And sometimes I get overwhelmed. Sometimes I've talked about, like, I burned out at the start of 2025 for sure, because I was just taking on too much with my full-time job and now doing the Pokemon thing and growing this business. But I continue to work at it. And sometimes I just have this doubt. It's like, why didn't I just buy this stuff and hold? Especially like investing in Pokemon right now is such a hot, but it's such an easy topic because literally you just buy stuff. If you had bought stuff a year or two ago, now you're up a huge ton of money, right? Like Pokemon is up. Everything across the board is up in the Pokemon space. So investing right now is really easy. When I first started this YouTube channel, it wasn't quite the same. I still thought it was really easy. Like the strategy was simple. I actually used the word simple, not easy, because the act of setting a Pokemon investment and then just forgetting about it in the closet for a couple of years is really hard, because you go through all of these mental stimuli of, oof, I should sell it right now. The market is way up. I'm going to cash out. Or then the market comes down. It's like, oh crap, I'm way down my money. Like you go through the ups and downs all the time when you're investing, which is hard. Whereas flipping, you're doing the ups and downs, but in a different way. Like right now, my goodness, I'm feeling the pinch because I got to sell some stuff to pay for the new Black Bolt and White Flare stuff. But it's easy to take that negativity, but it's hard to put it into perspective and think about how good I've actually done. And that's the general direction of this conversation in this video. One good example to put it into perspective is way back. This is right when I had started my YouTube channel, The Poke Office. And I ended up buying, I think, 200 Evolving Skies Elite Trainer boxes. And I bought them for 65 Canadian each, roughly. So what's that? $13,000 I spent on it. And I'm not recommending anyone does this, but I was like fully convinced that Evolving Skies was the best thing since sliced bread. Knew it was going to be a great investment, so I put it on the line of credit because I didn't actually have $13,000 cash on me. And I was like convinced, okay, I got this good offer on my line of credit. I don't mind taking on that extra monthly payment for a little bit until I get these things sold. And I know for a fact that I'm going to make more money than the interest payment is going to cost me. So no recommendations here, but that's what I did. And like within the month, I ended up selling them all for $80. So 200 times 80, what's that? I did the math on my piece of paper, $16,000. So I made $3,000 profit in a month. That's pretty good. Like just as a little side gig of buying and selling and buying things. Yeah, that's pretty good. However, if you look right now at an Evolving Skies Elite Trainer box, they're in the realm of 400 Canadian. So, yikes, right? 400 Canadian times 200 boxes is $80,000. So my profit would have been $67,000. And that was back in 2022 when I started the channel. Maybe early 2023. So 67,000 in profit. Man, sometimes I shake my head at that one because I've worked so hard. And yes, I have done more than 67,000 in profit, but I have worked my butt off getting to bigger numbers than that. And I literally could have just set that in the basement, forgot about it for a couple of years. And I know the grass is greener on the other side. Like, that's the other part of this argument. On both sides, wherever you are, in the investment side, in the work side, the grass is greener on the other side of the coin. I'm saying all these different things and it's not making any sense, but you know what I'm talking about. Because it was way easier for me to sell all 200 of them to the guy for $80. Like, he asked me. I didn't have to go out and sell anything. Selling an ETB at $400, we're talking Canadian, by the way, in case you're questioning my numbers. But selling at $400 an ETB, that's a harder sale to make. So that's a little bit more difficult. But man, another example that I shake my head at sometimes, I thought I overpaid so badly when I bought an Umbreon VMAX in a PSA 10, and I paid 1,100 Canadian dollars for it. And then it went down to like 800 or 900, if I remember correctly. And I was like, oh, I just like FOMO'd and I bought it at its all-time high. But clearly I didn't, because it's way higher than that right now. Same with the Giratina V from Lost Origin. I bought that in a PSA 10 and I paid 1,250 Canadian for it. And I was like, oh, that was such a bad thing, but I wanted that card so bad. It's my favorite card from Sword and Shield, so I just did it. But it's looking like a pretty good decision now. So there was these opportunities back then that, man, if I would have just done some other stuff like that instead of work so hard, like I could have just spent some money and set it and forget it, and I would be up a lot right now. But again, the grass is greener on the other side, because think about the emotional turmoil that I would have had to go through if I would have just bought that stuff, set it and forget it. Because 2022, 2023, 2024, Pokemon was like up and down a little bit. The first 4 sets of Scarlet and Violet were not that well received at the time. 151 was, but Paradox Rift definitely wasn't. Obsidian Flames definitely wasn't. Paldea Evolved was always kind of okay. Scarlet and Violet base set no one liked right off the bat. And so, like, just think, if I would have bought all that stuff, and that was still kind of Sword and Shield heavy as well, then my mindset would have been like, oh, I just overpaid for that. I'm so far down on that. It's the same as the stock markets, right? Like, you're feeling really good when things are on the rise, and you're checking it every day, and then it comes down, and it's like, you got to talk to yourself. Colin, I have to talk to myself. Please don't look at the stock charts again for like at least a month. Otherwise, you're just going to lose your mind. You know, I'm talking to myself on the daily, trying to get myself into this mindset. I'm in it for the long term. I'm not in it for the month. But it's so hard when the charts are all over the place. And the charts are all over the place. You can go to TCG Player, you can go to the Collector app and see the charts, and that's part of the fun too. But there's always this tug-of-war. I hope this video is making sense. If you like the content so far, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment. Are you more on the collector side, or are you more on the investor side? I think I did it backwards. I'm talking all over the place. But I don't know. It's hard. I think if I was the investor side, I would have a really hard time with that, because as much as it's work that I've put into the Pokemon business, I really enjoy that. That's something I come home and I'm excited to get in front of the camera. I'm excited to wheel and deal in Facebook Marketplace. I'm excited to have these conversations. I think about all the relationships I've built because of the Pokemon space and because of the work I've done. And that makes it worth it, even though sometimes, again, it really feels like I've wasted my time putting so much effort into the Pokemon biz when I could have just bought, set it, and forget it. And I would have done very, very well in the same thing. Because ultimately, like, no matter if you're investing in Pokemon or if you're working the Pokemon biz. You have to believe in the Pokemon space, and I fully believe in the Pokemon space. I fully do. I love booster boxes. I think that they are awesome, and especially I kind of got back into it and started my channel as Pokemon was like kind of booming through Evolving Skies and then came back down, and then like there's 2020 to 2025 where we're at now. There's kind of been like the ups and downs a little bit, and right now we're on a huge peak. But I've always, since I got back in, believed that Pokemon is a great investment. So I think that's good regardless. Like, I'm invested in Pokemon right now in terms of my actual investments over here. I'm also invested in Pokemon because I believe in it, and I'm putting my money to work in it as a Pokemon business, if that makes any sense. The last thing I want to talk about, and this video is going a little bit longer than I had originally anticipated, but whatever. I hope you enjoy it. I think there's a possibility of actually doing both, because right now I've grown my business to a point where the cash flow is typically pretty good enough that I can like buy the next thing, keep putting money into more stuff, keep selling, and the cash flow's there that I can continue spending money while taking in a little bit more. Recently, I bought a crap ton of stuff, and that's why I'm feeling the pinch right now. But at the end of the day, like, I'm trying to re-strategize because I've watched videos, like I'm watching Rudy at Alpha Investments a lot lately. I think he's absolutely brilliant. But I've been watching videos again, getting really back into the YouTube scene and thinking like, man, I don't just want to churn and burn my Pokemon product. I do want to hold. So I'm really trying my best to have at least one case of booster boxes from every set in Scarlet and Violet era. I already sold out almost all of my Sword and Shield era, which, I mean, again, if we go down the rabbit hole of regret, sure, I sold way too early, but I needed the money at the time. Again, like, growing a business is hard, and having the cash flow to do so is hard, and to continue gaining in reputation and continue building my allocation from the distributors, all the things working hand in hand. I needed the money at the time. So it's hard to regret that, even though of course I regret that. Like, I had a whole case of Evolving Skies booster boxes. I had a whole case of Fusion Strike booster boxes, and I sold way too early. So that's frustrating. I mean, I still have my stuff on the back wall there and 2 Evolving Skies booster boxes. So I'm not in a world of hurt, but I'm really trying to get my business to a place where now, as I'm flipping, I'm also throwing a little bit into the closet to set it and forget it, if that makes sense. So I think these things can go hand in hand, but ultimately, the end goal for me in the biz is that I want my cash flow to be enough that I can continue to do that, and the cash flow is there that every so often, hey, well, let's put this case to the side and not think about that for a little bit. Okay, let's keep moving. Let's put this case to the side and forget about that for a little bit. Because I think that is where the real magic could start to happen for the Poke Office is, okay, I'm churning and burning, I'm growing the site, I'm growing my presence in my local community, growing my presence online, and the business is doing really good right now. Like, I have no complaints and no regrets in that sense, but I also want to take advantage of the upside of just letting this compound growth happen over time. And I think Scarlet and Violet is just such a great opportunity. That's where my head's at. Let me know what you think. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And yeah, Black Bolt, White Flare is out this week. I'm really, really excited. I think it's going to be a huge end to the Scarlet and Violet era. So if you want, come join the live stream. It happens on the Poke Office every Thursday night, but this week's a big one if you've watched this video on time. Appreciate you hanging out, and I will catch you on the next video for sure. Peace!